Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudedye Nashtuprayeshu Bhatreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevate Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhaktir Nashtaki. So today we are starting new chapter, Canto 3, chapter 17, Victory of Hiranyaksha over all the directions of the universe. Text number 1 onwards. Maitreya Vacha Nishamyatma Bhuvagitam Karnam Shankayojita Tata Sarve Nyavartanta Tridivaya Divokasaha. Sri Maitreya said, the demigods, the inhabitants of the higher planets, were freed from all fear upon hearing the cause of the darkness explained by Brahma, who was born from Vishnu. Thus they all returned to their respective planets. The demigods, who are denizens of the higher planets, are also very much afraid of incidents such as the universe is becoming strong, and so they consulted Brahma. This indicates that the quality of fear exists for every living entity in the material world. The four principal activities of material existence are eating, sleeping, faring, and mating. The fear element exists also in the demigods. On every planet, even in the higher planetary systems, including the moon and the sun, as well as on this earth, the same principles of animal life exist. Otherwise, why are the demigods also afraid of the darkness? The difference between the demigods and ordinary human beings is that the demigods approach authority, whereas the inhabitants of this earth defy authority. So the demigods, they were afraid of this darkness. So they all reached Brahmaji. What is the cause of this? And please save us. So Brahmaji explained. But what Prabhupada is stressing on is even the demigods, even the residents of higher planetary systems, they're also full of fear. They're not out of fear. In Bhagavatam later on we'll study the cause of this fear is bhayam ditviya viniveshatasya. Means cause of this fear is a difference between the body and the soul. Or when we think we are not this body, we are not this soul, we are this body. That is a cause of the fear. Even okay, that upper higher planetary systems, great. But even on Earth, if you say, okay, America is number one country, still there is fear. Everywhere there is fear. Even if you go to meet the President of the United States, he is afraid. And if of nothing else, if of nothing, no economic downturn or any war or any political pressure, everybody is still afraid of death, if nothing else. That's why we take insurance policies. That's why we make houses. That's why we do so many things to protect ourselves and our near and dear ones, and to protect our property, to protect our assets. But Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Mrityu sarharashchaham. At the time of death, I take away everything. So he's going to take away anyway. So why fear? Everybody is fearful in this world. Everybody, even the animals. They are so fearful. You try to hit somebody, so animal, either he'll run away or he'll try to fight back. If you look closely an animal who cannot fight back, you look at his heart, and if he's afraid, his heart would be really pumping, as if whenever we get afraid, and our heart starts pumping. You look at the heart of that little animal, and if he cannot run away, and if he has no way to protect himself, you look at his heart, how he's pumping. Means he's so afraid, so much in fear. That's all over the universe. That's one of the four activities: eating, sleeping, fearing, proper fearing or defending, and eating. If people would only approach the authority, then every adverse condition in this universe could be rectified. Arjuna was also disturbed on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, but he approached the authority, Krishna, and his problem was solved. The conclusive instruction of this incident is that we may be disturbed by some material condition, but if we approach authority who can actually explain the matter, then our problem is solved. The demigods approached Brahma for the meaning of the disturbance, and after hearing from him, they were satisfied and returned home peacefully. So Prabhupada is saying, if fear is there, yes, no doubt it will be there. Fear of death is there for everybody. All we have to do is approach the bona fide authority and get the answers. So those who are little religious, so anything wrong happens, they go to the temple or whatever, Krishna or Ram or demigods or whatever. At least they go and pray. That is better than not going to the temple. At least the people understand that there is a higher authority who can help us. So nothing wrong in praying like that. Not the best thing, but nothing wrong. Text 2. Ditestu bharturadesha dapatya parishankini purne varshashate sadvi putro prasushve yamo. The virtuous lady Diti had been very apprehensive of trouble to the gods from the children in her womb, and her husband predicted the same. She brought forth twin sons after a full 100 years of pregnancy. Utpata Bahavastatra Nipetur Jayamanyahu Divi Bhuvyantarikshe Cha Lokasya Ubhayavaha. On the birth of the two demons, there were many natural disturbances, all very fearful and wonderful in the heavenly planets, the earthly planets, and in between them. Sahachala Bhuvashchelurdisha Sarva Prajavallu Solkashchashanaya Petu Ketavaschatir Hetvaha. There were earthquakes along the mountains on the earth, and it appeared that there was fire everywhere. Many inauspicious planets like Saturn appeared, along with comets, meteors, and thunderbolts. When natural disturbances occur on a planet, one should understand that a demon must have taken birth there. In the present age, the number of demoniac people is increasing. Therefore, natural disturbances are also increasing. There is no doubt about this. We can understand from the statements of the Bhagavad. Wow. So when natural disturbances occur on a planet, one should understand that demon must have taken birth there. So just imagine that tsunami that happened a few years back. It must be a great demon must have taken birth here. And who will do what? Now this boy or whatever, maybe a girl, that must have grown up now. He's just going to create more problems for everybody. So in the present age, the number of demoniac people is increasing. Therefore, natural disturbances are also increasing. So that is a cause of natural disturbances. If we become devotees, if Prabhupada said it's not possible that the 100% population will become devotees. So even if 10% of the population becomes devotees, the earth will supply everything. Earth will cooperate. Nature will cooperate. Because nature knows these are devotees of the Lord traversing on the earth. So she has to provide everything nicely. There's so much of like lacking in natural resources or anything else. It's only because people are not devotees. People are not Krishna conscious. It's amazing how this whole system works. It's not by our cultivation of ground the earth is producing everything that we need. Earth can produce it without even our cultivation. Like in other yugas, Satyuga, Treta, Dwapar Yuga, people were not cultivating the land. They were just, earth was providing everything. It's only in Kali Yuga. And even after cultivation of land, even if the crop is ready and then the rain will come and the wind will come and the whole crop gets destroyed. It never used to happen because people were devotees. There is so much of pollution of earth, pollution of air. We talk about this pollution of air in Delhi, the smog. If people become devotees, why won't nature cooperate with people? Nature is an external energy of the Lord. It's nothing else. And if people are devotees of the Lord, how can she give trouble to the devotees? But by not providing the proper air, proper water, proper soil, proper food, she will. She has to. It just, as long as we are not devotees, we have to suffer everything. Vavavayu suduhsparshaha futakara niryanmahu unmulyan gapatin vatya niko rajodvajaha. There blew winds which were most uninviting to the touch, hissing again and again and uprooting gigantic trees. They had storms for their armies and clouds of dust for their ensigns. When there are natural disturbances like blowing cyclones, too much heat or snowfall, and uprooting of trees by hurricanes, it is to be understood that the demoniac population is increasing. And so the natural disturbance is also taking place. There are many countries on the globe, even at the present moment, where all these disturbances are current. This is true all over the world. There is insufficient sunshine, and there are always clouds in the sky, snowfall, and severe cold. These assure that such places are inhabited by demoniac people who are accustomed to all kinds of forbidden, sinful activity. Look at the big forest fire in Australia right now. So you can just imagine how much demonic people are living there. And they are all over the world. There's not a single country where these things are not happening. These disturbances are not there. Uddasat dambodha ghatya nashta bhagane vyomni pravishta tamsa nasma vyadrishyate padam. The luminaries in the heavens were screened by masses of clouds in which lightning sometimes flashed as though laughing. Darkness reigned everywhere and nothing could be seen. Just imagine how big demons are taking birth. Or they are in the womb of Diti and they are so huge demons that all the problems are happening all over the universe, not just on Earth, all over the universe. Chukroshvimna vardhe rurdu udurmi shubito daraha Saudpanascha Saritascha Chukshubhu Shushkapankajaha. The ocean with its high waves wailed aloud as if stricken with sorrow, and there was a commotion among the creatures inhabiting the ocean. The rivers and lakes were also agitated, and lotuses withered. मोहुपरिधयो बभूवन सरावो शशिसूर्ययो निर्घातरत्निः विव्रेभ्य प्रजिज्ञरे. Misty halos appeared around the sun and the moon during solar and lunar eclipses again and again. Claps of thunder were heard even without clouds, and sounds like those of rattling chariots emerged from the mountain caves. We can understand how fearful the situation was. Antagrameshu mukto vamantyo vahanim ulbanam shrigalo lukat ankare pranedur shivam shivaha. In the interior of the villages, she-jackals yelled portentously, vomiting strong fire from their mouths, and jackals and owls also joined them with their cries. Sangeetavad rodan vadanam udmaya shirodharam vyamunchan vividha vacho gramasingas tatastataha. Raising their necks, dogs cried here and there, now in the manner of singing and now of wailing. Kharascha karkasha kshattaha kurer gananto dharatalam khar kara rabsa mattaha paridhavan varuthasha. O Vidura, the asses ran hither and thither in herds, striking the earth with their hard hoofs and wildly braying. Asses also feel very respectable as a race, and when they run in flocks hither and thither in so-called jollity, it's understood to be a bad sign for human society. Rudanto rasbhatrasta nidal udpatan khada ghosheranya cha pashva shakran mutram akurvata. Frightened by the braying of the asses, birds flew shrieking from their nests, while cattle in the cowsheds as well as in the woods passed dung and urine. Gavatra sannasrig dohasto yada puya varshina virudanda devlingani drumha petur vinanilam. Cows, terrified, yielded blood in place of milk. Clouds rained pus, the images of the gods in the temples shed tears, and trees fell down without a blast of wind. Grihan punyatamananye bhaganaschapi dipita ati cherur vakratya yuyudhascha parasparam. Ominous planets such as Mars and Saturn shone brighter and surpassed auspicious ones, such as Mercury, Jupiter, and Venus, as well as a number of lunar mansions. Taking seemingly retrograde courses, the planets come in conflict with one another. The entire universe is moving under the three modes of material nature. Those living entities who are in goodness are called the pious species, pious lands, pious trees, etc. It's similar with the planets also. Many planets are considered pious and others are considered impious. Saturn and Mars are considered impious. When the pious planets shine very brightly, it is an auspicious sign. But when the impious planets shine very brightly, this is not a very good sign. Drishtva anyanscha mahotpatan tat 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 siddha praja brahmaputra nrite bhita menire vishvasamplavam. Marking these and many other omens of evil times, everyone but the four sage sons of Brahma, who were aware of the fall of giant Vijay and their births as Diti's sons, were seized with fear. They did not know the secrets of these portents and saw and thought that the dissolution of the universe was at hand. According to Bhagavad Gita, 7th chapter, the laws of nature are so stringent that it is impossible for the living entity to surpass their enforcement. It's also explained that only those who are fully surrendered to Krishna and Krishna consciousness can be saved. We can learn from the description of the Srimad Bhagavatam that it is better of the birth. It's because of the birth of two great demons that there were so many natural disturbances. It is to be indirectly understood, as previously described, that when there are constant disturbances on the earth, there is an omen that some demoniac people have been born or that the demoniac population has increased. In former days, there were only two demons, those born of Diti, yet there were so many disturbances. At the present day, especially in this age of Kali, these disturbances are always visible, which indicates that the demoniac population has certainly increased. So this is a cause, this is effect of having demoniac population. To check the increase of demoniac population, the Vedic civilization enacted so many rules and regulations of social life. The most important of which is the Garbhadan process for begetting good children. In Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna informed Krishna that if there is unwanted population, Varna Sankar, the entire world will appear to be hell. People are very anxious for peace in the world, but there are so many unwanted children born without the benefit of the Garbhadan ceremony, just like the demons born from Diti. Diti was so lusty that she forced her husband to copulate at a time which was inauspicious, and therefore the demons were born to create disturbances. In having sex life to beget children, one should observe the process for begetting nice children. If each and every householder in every family observes the Vedic system, then there are nice children, not demons. And automatically there is peace in the world. If we do not follow regulations in life for social tranquility, we cannot expect peace. Rather, we will have to undergo the stringent reactions of natural laws. So because of these two boys, Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha, they were not even born yet. That's an amazing thing. The whole universe is disturbed. And how much disturbances will happen once they're born and when they grow up and once they terrorize the universe. And this is what Prabhupada is saying, the people in general, they should become Krishna conscious and at least they should do Garbhadan Sanskar process when they're begetting children. So only the nice children are born. Sometimes people ask, so what will happen to the souls which are not so nice? Well, let Krishna worry about that. We take care of whatever we can. Tavadidatyo sahasa vyajyamanam atmapurusho vyavridhate ashmasarena kayanadripati iva. These two demons who appeared in ancient times soon began to exhibit uncommon bodily features. They had steel-like frames which began to grow just like two mountains. Steel-like frames which began to grow just like two mountains. Now the boys are born. There are two classes of men in the world. One is called demons and the other is called demigods. The demigods concern themselves with the spiritual upliftment of human society, whereas the demons are considered with physical and material upliftment. So the demons are concerned with only physical and material upliftment. So we can see from this that in general, well, so 99.99% of the population is demoniac these days. They're only concerned with their physical and material upliftment. But the demigods concern themselves with the spiritual upliftment of human society. Not for themselves only. The two demons born of Diti began to make their bodies as strong as iron frames, and they were so tall that they seemed to touch outer space. So they began to make their bodies as strong as iron frames. It means they were going to gym and working out. I mean, there's nothing wrong with going to gym these days and working out to keep yourself healthy, but it's just the consciousness with which we want to do it. They were decorated with valuable ornaments and they thought that this was success in life. Originally, it was planned that giant Vijay, the two doorkeepers of Vaikuntha, were to take birth in this material world, where by the curse of the sages they were to play the part of always being angry with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. As demoniac persons, they became so angry that they were not concerned with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but simply with physical comforts and physical upliftment. So that is the quality of demons. They're only concerned about I, me, and mine. That's it. So these two brothers, Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha, who were giant Vijay, they have fallen down. They have taken birth, and now they are making their bodies strong. Divi sparsho hem kirit kikotibhir niruddha kashto sfurad angada bhujau gam kampiyanto charna pade pade katya sukan chark kamtit tasthatu. Their bodies became so tall that they seemed to kiss the sky with the crest of their gold crowns. They blocked the views of all directions and while walking shook the earth at every step. Their arms were adorned with brilliant bracelets and they stood as if covering the sun with their waists, which were bound with excellent and beautiful girdles. So just imagine how big these demons were. Their bodies are so tall that they seem to kiss the sky with the crests of the gold crowns. In the demoniac way of civilization, people are interested in getting a body constructed in such a way that when they walk on the street, the earth will tremble, and when they stand, it will appear that they cover the sun and the vision of the four directions. If a race appears strong in body, their country is materially considered to be among the highly advanced nations of the world. So this is demoniac way of life, that they want to construct the body such as in such a way that when they walk on the street, the earth will tremble, and when they stand, it will appear that they cover the sun. And see, this happened towards the beginning of creation, means it was Satyuga time. And Satyuga people were taller than what they are now. Prajapatirnam tayorkarshi dhyah prak dehadyam yor jayata tambe hiranyakashipam viduh praja yam tam hiranyakshma sutasagrataha. Kashyap Prajapati, the creator of the living entities, gave his twin sons their names. The one who was born first he named Hiranyaksha, and the one who was first conceived by Diti he named Hiranyakashipu. Now that's little confusing. So the twin sons, they were twins. So the first boy who was born, he was named Hiranyaksha. But the first boy who was conceived means, so when he was conceived, he went in first, and the second boy who was conceived became firstborn. So according to this, Hiranyakashipu was elder because he was first conceived, not first born. In fact, there's a devotee, and he was in Gurgaon, and he had twins, a boy and a girl. And because kids, when they fight. So just to pacify them. So boy was born first and girl was born next. So there was only 1 minute or 2 minutes of difference. So according to our system, the boy is older because he was born first. But just so the girl was always, oh, I'm younger and you are elder, and then he would pacify her. No, 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 you were conceived first, so actually you are elder. But because of the system in place, the boy is elder. So then they both would be okay. They both knew they were elder. There is an authoritative Vedic literature called Pinda Siddhi, in which the scientific understanding of pregnancy is very nicely described. It is stated that when the male secretion enters the menstrual flux in the universe, in the uterus, in two successive drops, the mother develops two embryos in her womb, and she brings forth twins in a reverse order to that in which they were first conceived. The child conceived first is born later, and the one conceived later is brought forth first. The first child conceived in the womb lives behind the second child. So when birth takes place, the second child appears first, and the first child appears second. In this case, it is understood that Hiranyaksha, the second child conceived, was delivered first, whereas in Hiranyakashipu, the child who was behind him, having been conceived first, was born second. It's just technical difference. There's nothing else of importance here. Chakre Hiranya Kashipur Dorbhyam Brahmavare Cha Vashe Sapala Lokan Strin Kuto Mrityuruddhata. The elder child Hiranyakashipu was unafraid of death from anyone within the three worlds because he received a benediction from Lord Brahma. He was proud and puffed up due to his benediction and was able to bring all three planetary systems under his control. As will be revealed in later chapters, Hiranyakashipu underwent severe austerity and penance to satisfy Brahma and thus receive a benediction of immortality. Actually, it's impossible even for Lord Brahma to give anyone the benediction of becoming immortal. But indirectly, Hiranyakashipu received the benediction that no one within this material world would be able to kill him. In other words, because he originally came from the abode of Vaikuntha, he was not to be killed by anyone within this material world. The Lord desired to appear himself to kill him. One may be very proud of his material advancement in knowledge, but he cannot be immune to the four principles of material existence, namely birth, death, old age, and disease. It was the Lord's plan to teach people that even Hiranyakashipu, who was so powerful and strongly built, could not live more than his destined duration of life. One may become as strong and puffed up as Hiranyakashipu and bring under his control all the three worlds, but there is no possibility of continuing life eternally or keeping the conquered booty forever. So many emperors have ascended to power and they are now lost in oblivion. That is the history of the world. So very nicely explained by Prabhupada. Prabhupada is saying Hiranyakashipu underwent severe austerity. That we'll study later on in the 7th canto. And he got many boons from Brahmaji. Actually, he wanted the boon of immortality, that I don't want to die, nobody should be able to kill me. But Brahmaji said, even I am mortal, how can I give you a boon of immortality? So somehow Hiranyakashipu then asked for different boons. The idea was that nobody should be able to kill him. And like Prabhupada said, he was from spiritual world, so anybody from material world wouldn't have been able to kill him anyway. So Lord had to come to kill him basically and to protect Prahlad Maharaj. And then Prabhupada says, one may be very proud of his material advancement, but Death is going to come for sure. That's what he said, as sure as death. So the person, whoever is taken birth, he is going to grow old, he is going to get diseased, and he's going to die. That's for sure. So we cannot avoid death. The only thing we can do is live our life in a way that death doesn't scare us, and death would actually help us in leaving the material world and going back to the spiritual world. So even though Hiranyakashipu had brought under his control all the three worlds, means lower planets, earthly planet, higher planets, up to Brahmloka, everything was under his control actually. He's such a great demon. But ultimately he had to die as well, even though he had the boons of so many benedictions, but ultimately he also died. हिरण्याक्षानुजस्तस्य प्रिया प्रीति कृदन्वहं गदा पाणिर्दिवं यातो युयुत्सुर्मृगयन् रणम्. His younger brother Hiranyaksha was already always ready to satisfy his elder brother by his activities. Hiranyaksha took a club on his shoulder and traveled all over the universe with a fighting spirit just to satisfy Hiranyakashipu. The demonic spirit is to train all family members to exploit the necessities of life, to exploit the resources of this universe for personal sense gratification. Whereas the godly spirit is to engage everything in the service of the Lord. Hiranyakashipu was himself very powerful, and he made his younger brother Hiranyaksha powerful to assist him in the fighting with everyone and lording it over material nature as long as possible. So Hiranyakashipu was powerful, but he made his younger brother so powerful and so expert in assisting him in fighting with everyone and to take over their kingdom. The Hiranyaksha loved to do that. These are demonstrations of the spirit of demoniac living entity. Text 21. Tam vikshya dusahajavam ranat kanchan nupuram vajyante asrija jushtam asanyastamahagadam. Hiranyaksha's temper was difficult to control. He had anklets of gold tinkling about his feet. He was adorned with a gigantic garland and he rested his huge mace on one of his shoulders. Manovirya varotsiktam asranyam akuto bhayam pita nililya Bhita Nili Lilire Deva Starksha Trasta Ivahaya. His mental and bodily strength, as well as the boon conferred upon him, had made him proud. He feared death at the hands of no one, and there was no checking him. The gods, therefore, were seized with fear at his very sight, and they hid themselves, even as hid themselves as snakes hid themselves for fear of Garuda. The asuras are generally strongly built, as described here, and therefore their mental condition is very sound and their prowess is also extraordinary. Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu, having received the boon that they would not be killed by any other living entity within this universe, were almost immortal, and thus they were completely fearless. So not just Hiranyakashipu, Hiranyaksha also performed austerities, and he also received boons. Different from Hiranyaksha, but some quite similar as well. Savai tirohitan drishtva mahasasrena datirat sa indrandra devganan kshiban apashyan apashyan vyandadvrisham. On not finding Indra and the other demigods who had previously been intoxicated with power, the chief of the Daityas, seeing that they had all vanished very before his might, roared loudly. He did not find anybody to fight with, and they all had ran away actually. ततो निवृत्तः क्रीडष्यन् गम्भीरं भीमनिस्वनं विजगाहे महासत्त्वो वार्धिमत् एव द्विपः. After returning from the heavenly kingdom, the mighty demon, who was like an elephant in wrath for the sake of sport, dived into the deep ocean, which was roaring terribly. So he just dived in the deep ocean. Let's say what to do. तस्मिन् प्रविष्टे वर्णस्य सैनिका यादो गण सन्निध्य ससाध्वसा अहन्यमाना अपि तस्य वर्चसा प्रदर्शिता दूरत्तरं प्रदुर्ध्रुवुः. On his entering the ocean, the aquatic animals who formed the host of Varuna were stricken with fear and ran far away. Thus Hiranyaksha showed his splendor without dealing a blow. So just he jumped in the ocean, and all the animals, all the aquatic fishes, they just ran away. Materialistic demons sometimes appear to be very powerful and are seen to establish the supremacy throughout the world. Here also it appears that Hiranyaksha, by his demonic strength, actually establishes supremacy throughout the world, throughout the universe. And the demigods were afraid of his uncommon power. Not only were the demigods in his space afraid of the demons Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha, but so also were the aquatic animals within the sea. So everybody everywhere was fearful of them, afraid. So I guess I'll stop here, see anybody has any questions or comments.
Hare Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, chapter 13, while I was reading, I found that the Sukh and Dukh, 1 minute. So the Sukha and
That's
Dukh was part of a life, and how we treat both Sukh Dukh means if you are in happiness, you should do not relish or you should not be very happy about it, but it is given to you by Lord just to do service for others, for humanity. And in Dukha also, it is just to forgive. It's a incident where you have to forgive everything. That's why you get this sorrowness. Now,
okay.
like in today's verse, whatever you've spoken, it's what I thought in my view is about, uh, this is what happening in materialistic world. Everybody is about themselves, they're selfish, and they show off that they have this thing, whereas the person who is in front, they don't have, or maybe in the neighbor, they don't have the amenities which they have. They have a car, they have a house, and all those things, and that's why they are not happy. So I think what we read today, this number of texts today, this actually resembles what's happening in the material world. People are getting into, could be they are human beings, but they are having the inhabits the demonic culture.
Mm. Just like a few days back, I posted a video. It was an American scientist or maybe a philanthropist that he said there are two things, happiness and pleasure. They're different. I mean, we get pleasure by getting something material, but that doesn't really give happiness. But we have kind of made them synonyms right now, but that is not right. Happiness doesn't depend upon getting or collecting all the material assets. But yes, that is demonic way of thinking and working, that happiness means I get more and more and more and then I'll be happy. And this is what is happening all over the world. Yes, you rightly observed.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Dhanvat Pranam.
Dandapanam.
It was good to learn. In fact, a few things really, had it not been for today's session, wouldn't have known. One is that we have this planetary system which are also auspicious, auspicious. I think good topic. Thank you so much. And I thought, in fact, if there were more kind of description on that, that would have been much better. But at least thank you so much for clarifying that. And it's very surprising that, in fact, there is a book on entire book on pregnancy as well. I sincerely hope our doctors read that and kind of prevent so many kind of operations and all. And the tsunami example that you gave was fantastic. Prabhuji. I think somewhere some demon would have taken birth. And same with this recent cyclone that happened, Prabhuji, everywhere.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, tsunami was just like a big thing that happened. That's why.
Thank you so much,
So
sir.
many, so many things happening. Yes, Mata.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. There is one
Hare
book
Krishna.
actually in Maharashtra, people, most of the pregnant ladies read. That is Garvadhan Sanskar book. And I think this is a very beautiful tradition they've passed on to each generation. That book is from Balaji Tambe. And he has written each and everything as in, not spiritually, but about what should be the thought process and everything in that book. And I see that most of the Maharashtrian people follow that book. So that is
That's
somewhere
good.
lagging in North India.
That's good. You see,
Prabhuji,
North, we still, people still read either Ramayana or they don't like to read Mahabharata, obviously, at the time of pregnancy. But Garbhadhan is not after pregnancy, it is before even conceiving the child.
yes, Prabhuji.
When the lady becomes pregnant, yes, then there are other things one should do. But it is even before one becomes pregnant. That is also
Yes, Prabhuji.
important.
That books, yes, Prabhuji. That books explains these things as well.
Okay, okay, great. Thank you.
That there is a lot of things which needs to be done. There some body-wise, some what doshas need to be removed, and something in the
Okay.
Vedic, how Ayurvedic way they treat people first, and then there are a lot of processes mentioned.
Great.
Prabhuji, thank you so much for this class. Every day when I attend this class, I feel more happy with being born in India, being given this book, beautiful religious book, having read Brahmacharitra and reading all these different books, Krishna book and all the books written by Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada, and reading Bhagavad Gita as it is and Bhagavatam now. So it is really, I'm really thankful to you for making it so interesting and making it so realistic, and that we can really understand people who are in day-to-day life so materialistically absorbed in things. They can also get benefited from this. This is really nice, and thank you so much. But one thing which comes in my mind always, that whenever I read all these things, that the life what we are leading is actually a struggle between our it's a tit for tat from our mind and our consciousness. Sometimes mind wins and sometimes we win. So the more we are Krishna conscious, we are winning it, and the more we try to neglect our chanting or anything, our mind wins. And that is how it is going on actually, Prabhuji. So this time
Yeah,
really
it's a struggle, but this is what it is. We have to remain first become Krishna conscious and then remain Krishna conscious throughout our
Yes.
day-to-day activities.
This time the struggle
Really,
is really from the mind. Demon is the mind only.
yeah, everybody is struggling that way or another.
And I think very nicely said, Prabhuji. But demons, they kind of, the godly people or people in mode of goodness, they go to Lord whenever there is a problem. So I think that is something that is very relevant. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Yeah. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you all. You all have a wonderful day. Hare Krishna. Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Thank you,
Hare
Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Jai
Thank you
Shri
so much,
Krishna.
Prabhuji.